All right, good morning. Find your comfortable seat. Lengthen through your spine, get your wiggles out, roll your shoulders forward and back. You can do little mini twists if you want to. Don't do big ones yet. Warm up our spine, unless you've already had a workout or been out walking or feel warmed up. Rock side to side on your sit bones. Get the mobility of your hips. Hike your hip up on the hip you're lifting. And then rock forward and back. Really let your sit bones rock forward and back. When you rock backwards, squeeze through your glutes and help push your upper hip into the seat of the chair. Some mobility around the sacrum area and the low back. And then just start as if you could cut yourself in half right in the mid belly. Just kind of rock back and forth and get some mobility in that area. And then through the shoulders and upper back, forward and back. And then dip a shoulder way down, lift one up, get some side to side mobility. Not going to the full tilt position, which is where you have some mobility. And then bring yourself to tall stillness, tune into your breath. Just observe your breath to begin. Observe where it's at in your body today. If it feels anxious, if it feels fast, if it's still slow, as if you just woke up. And just broaden your awareness a little bit, deepening your breath, making your inhale and exhale the same length. When you exhale, draw your belly up and in just a teeny bit, helping to that diaphragm to release all the air. As you inhale, let your belly soften and relax and open up. Imagine that your belly is doing most of the work of breathing, like the bellows of an accordion, or the bellows that you would use to add air, give air to a fire. Letting your belly expand, and then drawing your belly in to exhale. Today we're going to focus on mobility. And the little quote that I found is, mobility is as mobility does. We don't become more mobile by sitting, by letting things rest. By parking close, by trying to take all the groceries in one trip. I just want you to take your head over to the right and then up and over to the left. So in our mobility today, we're going to do more dynamic movements to create stretch than we are static holds to elicit stretch. So just up and over like a big exaggerated bobblehead. Pause over to the right, tuck and roll over to the left, back and forth, tuck and roll. You can go as slow or as fast as you want, as you feel like you need. And your next pass through the center, pause at center, lift up and down, all the way up as it feels comfortable, and then tuck in tight down, all the way up. Careful not to crunch into the back of the neck going too far up. If you focus on lifting your chin and not crunching in the back, it'll help keep your neck longer and help keep you from over extending to the back. And then pause with the head facing forward. Turn your head right and left without engaging any of your shoulders, without taking it to the extreme. And come to center. Just feel how your neck muscles feel, your upper back, maybe some in your chest and your throat. And we're going to get this mobility and move it down through the body. So we're going to work through the shoulders and upper back. So take your hands they can either be kind of, like hug a tree kind of thing, or you can take it more cactus if you want to. You'll feel more stretch in the upper back and biceps. If you need to start with hug a tree, you're more than welcome to do that. So you're going to take a deep breath to start, open up. Arch upper back a little bit. Exhale, hug the tree, draw it in. Inhaling and opening, drawing elbows back, shoulders blades together. Exhale, round, hug the tree, or round yourself over a ball, whichever makes more sense to you. We're lifting and lowering our head, but really our focus is on the mid upper back, right behind the heart, shoulders. If you want to try and transition from hug a tree to cactus, just opening back in, and then drawing your elbows together when you come forward. Open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Big breath, last breath, exhale down, release your hands, shake them out a little bit, shake your shoulders. We're going to take that upper mobility. You're going to imagine that we have that stationary spot right in through underneath our rib cage. So when you lean side to side, your leaning is generated upper back and not way lower back by leaning way down in. So we're going to lean side to side, but we're going to try and keep it up in this area. So we're going to take one arm up and over, just lean the upper back. Inhaling up, switch sides. Little lean because you're just doing upper back, exhaling down. Lean up and over, we're doing shoulders and back. Draw your belly in, trying to keep that low back stationary. Drawing the shoulder up to your ear. And last one on this side. And relax. And still keeping that locked in place low at your lower rib cage. Just take your shoulders forward and back and do upper back twist. Imagine your belly button is locked in place. You can't rotate too far. It's just upper back. I'm going to do as many as we can seated, and then I have some for standing and some for lying down. And relax and just feel the feels. How does your back feel? Your upper back, your shoulders. Let's do some mobility through our wrists, rotating our wrists in big circles all the way around. And make sure to go to the other direction as well. You might feel your body heating up some from the more movement. All right, then bring your arms forward, palms up. Now, if you see the top, your inner elbow is pointed straight to the ceiling. I want you to move your hands to face each other, but don't let your elbow change. So this is a wrist movement. It's also strengthening your shoulders because your arms are up in the air. So just ceiling, face each other. Ceiling, face each other. Ceiling, face each other. Ceiling, face each other. Ceiling, now make it a whole arm from shoulder. So come all the way around to face away from each other. And back to ceiling. Face away. Back to ceiling. Lengthen through spine. Draw belly in. Feel your shoulders work. Facing away. Just rotating them back and forth. Shoulders might start to burn a little bit. We're really using some shoulders. Last one to face ceiling. Pull your elbows down and in close to you. Open your thumbs out and bring them back in. Out and back in. Take them out. Feel through your shoulder blades. You try and squeeze them together as you bring your thumbs out, but keep your elbows in close. Out and hold. Lengthen through crown. And imagine you have the tray of drinks and you're going to give them away at a 45-degree and bring them back in. Give them away, bring them back in, give them away. Pull in through your elbows like you're trying to touch your elbows behind your back, which obviously isn't going to happen. Pull them in, give them away, pull them in, give them away. Deep breath, inhale, arms up. Lengthen through fingertips like you're trying to touch the ceiling. Exhale down. Shake out your shoulders. Twist if you want to. Flex through your belly. I got stuff in my eyes today. All right, we're going to move our mobility down into our lower back. So we're going to do side to side, but we're going to try and imagine that your hip bone and your lowest rib are trying to touch each other. You're trying to squeeze the jelly out of a jelly donut. I got plenty of jelly. So you're going to take one arm up, really focus on that rib and hip coming towards each other and down. Inhaling up, squeeze them together, and you can lift this hip up as you're trying to squeeze, not only squeeze down with your rib, but you're squeezing up with your hip. We're going to do one more on each side. As you're squeezing together, squeeze out the last bit of your air. And relax. I think I did more than one more, but you get the gist. All right, little tiny twists, and they can be generated right about the belly button area. Release any tension from your belly. We're going to do I call them whiplash, but they're really not because we're not doing them fast. But we're going to open up our legs. We're going to do a full roll spine, forward and back. Coming forward slightly so you can lean as far forward as you feel comfortable, or as your mobility will allow. We're going to start with elbows on, or elbows, not elbows, hands. Hands on thighs, back behind your knees. Make sure your knees are over your ankles. So you have a little bit of activity in your legs to keep the knees over the ankles, because if you relax them completely, they want to roll in slightly. So you have that little activation on the sides of your glutes to help keep those legs drawn open. Fingers inward, chest forward, shoulder blades together, head rolls back as you come forward. As far as you feel comfortable, then start rounding your back, drop your head, roll up. Nice and tall, chest forward, head back, roll forward. Belly in, roll up. The inhale motion is down. The exhale motion, because you're squeezing in through the abs, is up. Inhale, opening. Exhale, squeezing and rolling. Couple more times. Find your rhythm. You can squeeze through your butt a little bit more to help you roll up also. Last one, all the way up to the ceiling. And twist through the low spine. Keep your belly drawn in. So you have a protected twist. You're protecting that low back. Actually, the L4, L5, S1 area is the most flexible area. It's also the most can be the most locked up area, because there's so much flexibility in the spine in that area. Those muscles can get upset easily and they lock up. Help draw the spine in to protect your twist. All right, we're going to bring our feet together. Before we stand, we'll do a couple of knee and foot mobilities. So we're going to take one foot off the ground at a time, root through your sit bones, lengthen through your crown, lift your toes on the right foot, keep your heel pressed into the floor. Left leg is relaxed, other than you're keeping a knee over the ankle. So it's not so relaxed, it's just like a jelly noodle over there. Toes down on the right, up on the left. You may want to peek and make sure that the ankle is right under the knee. Mine were a little backwards. Toes down on the left, both of them up. And then lift your heels, come push through the floint through your foot, through the toes and the upper part. And then heels down, toes up. Toes down, heels up. And heels down, toes up, windshield wiper out, in, out. And this is not only for ankles, but also for knees. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and back to neutral, toes up, toes down. Kind of shake them out a little bit if you want to. Even though our knee joints are meant to hinge, they're meant to open and close, open and close. They're not meant to rotate. There's a little bit of torque that we get in our knees from twisting and turning. So even though it's not meant to, it will if you force it. So just try and do a few inner and outer rotations throughout your day to help protect the little torques you get in your knees. Lift your right foot off the floor. Feel your abs and your glute on the right leg engage. Have your foot softly flex. Open up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. 45. Out and in. Out and in. Face it directly forward when you bring it in. And in. Out and in. Out and in. Last one. Down. Other side. Lift it off the floor first. Feel your hip, your glute engage, your quad, your hamstring, soft flex, open and close, open and close, open and close, open and close. Taking him to the out this time. Take it out 45 and in, right facing forward. Out 45 and in. This is both hip and knee mobility. And in and out and in. I feel like you have a workout today more than you have a stretch, comfy yoga, but we still have stuff to the floor to do. And in, out, in and relax, down. We're going to stand and do some balance and some stuff with hip mobility and a little shoulder mobility as well. Get this out of the way. Walk it around a little bit. We used a lot of hip flexor when we were lifting our legs up. So we're going to counteract that with our hamstrings. Coffee really tastes good today for some reason, and I just spilled it on me. All right, I meant to have the chair kind of close, not so far away. So we're going to have the seat of the chair, the back of the chair, not the seat, the back of the chair facing us instead of the seat like we normally do. And I want you to stand far enough away so that if you were to hinge at the hips at about a 45, you could touch with tips of fingers, not full on hands, but tips of fingers you could touch, okay? And I feel like I could go back a little bit more. I'm gonna go 45, hips stay level over both feet, and my tips of my fingers can touch, okay? So we're gonna take a deep breath, arms are down, inhale up, exhale, come forward, reach for that chair butt back. Come through the gate of your arms to stretch the shoulders and come right back up. Inhaling up, squeeze the butt at the top. Exhale through the gate of the arms, stretch the shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Coming up, squeezing the butt. You're going to feel a nice stretch down the back of your legs when you come forward. Let your hands hang over the top of the chair. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Keep the belly drawn in. Help protect the back. We have both shoulders and hips, back of legs, upper back. One more. I don't know if you heard that, but my shoulder popped. And relax. Shake out your legs a little bit. Shoulders. All right, we're going to bend at that 45 degrees. We're going to keep our belly pulled in, and we're going to only put our left hand on the chair. We're going to let our right one hang. And if you think about your shoulder blade is a kind of flat against your rib cage. If you kind of think of it, if you drop your shoulder down, it slides down. If you pull your shoulder up, it slides to your spine. Drop your shoulder down to the floor, it slides out. Pull your shoulder up, it slides in. You can bend your knees a little bit if you want to, but pull your belly in. I don't want the rest of your body uncomfortable while you're thinking about your shoulder. So just lower and raise your shoulder, letting the whole arm hang there. And then I want you to take the shoulder to a neutral position. And I want you to swing it forward and back, right up to your ear and as back as far as you can. Let it hang at center. And I want you to imagine that you're reaching for something over on the left side. So you're twisting and reaching to the left. And then you're opening up to the right. Twist and reach to the left. Open up to the right. Keep your belly drawn in. You should naturally feel like you're inhaling as you open and you're exhaling as you're closing, because that's when you're squeezing your innards together. And relax, letting your arm hang. Bend into your knees. Deep bend in the knees. Release your other hand in a kind of a chair position. Press yourself up. We're going to take a break with our bend over. And we're going to do the same, the right leg. And then we'll switch and do the whole side on the left side. So we're going to come closer to our chair, but out to the side. I'll move it this way so you can see it a little better. Closer to the chair, but you're going to be taking your leg back and forth, so you don't want to kick the chair. So put the weight on the left foot, lengthen, imagine putting space between the knee joint, the hip joint, lengthen tall. You're kind of hiked on the right leg so that you can swing. You can swing as high or as low as you feel comfortable. If you swing way back, don't do a big back arch. Just where you engage that hip and engage that glute muscle and make it like a stopper. You squeeze your glute, it stops the swing and protects the back. If you just willy-nilly keep going back and forth without any stopper in the back, you'll eventually start to create some pain in your low back. So squeeze the glute to make a stopper. You can go as far forward as you want, engaging more muscles. Relax, shake it out, give that right, or give the left leg a break, because we're going to stand on it again, so that we can go in and out with our leg. So it's turning to the side, so you can cross over and out. And you don't even have to cross over if it doesn't feel comfortable in your hip joint. Just come as far inward as you feel comfortable coming in, and just swinging in and out. You can hold on to the chair if you want to. Try and have light grip. Relax. Shake out that leg. We're going to switch and do shoulder and hip on the left side. So I'm going to switch my chair to the other side just so I'm seeing better. Take a moment to take a sip if you want. Walk around, shake out your legs if you want. Stomp it out, whatever feels good. All right, find your position. So you have the back of the chair towards you. And if you hinge at your hip and have it about a 45 degree with your back, you're just barely touching with the tippy tips of your fingers. So I need to back up because I had much more knuckle touching than I needed to. Because once we come way forward, our hands will kind of roll over the top anyway. So at about a 45 degree angle, find your position. Feet are directly underneath your hip bones. And here we go. Deep breath, inhale. Lengthen, exhale, hinge, reach for the chair. Let the hands glide over the top of the chair as you come through the gate of the arms. Inhaling back up. Squeeze the glutes at the top. A little tiny bend of the knees as you come forward, stretching through the shoulders and back of the legs. Keep the belly drawn in as much as you can through the whole motion so you keep the back supported. Breathing in when you come up. Breathing out when you go down. We'll do one more. And bring yourself up to that 45 degree angle. If you feel like you need to walk yourself forward a little bit based on how you felt on the previous side, you can. Having our right hand on the chair this time, a little bend in the knees, drawn in through the belly, and let your left arm hang. Remember that shoulder blade scapula is gliding across the rib bones. If you let it drop, it glides and opens. If you pull it up, not to your ear up, but up to the ceiling up, it glides towards the spine. Down and up. Down, bend in your knees a little bit more if you feel the back of your legs getting too much stretch. You want the rest of your body to be as comfortable as possible while you're focusing on the mobility of that shoulder blade. Down and up. Pause it in a neutral position, and you're going to bring it up to your ear. I have to scoot over because I'm too close to the chair, and then back as far as comfortable. Up to ear and back. Up and back. Up and back. Keep your breathing even. Keep your core drawn in. Keep your knees soft. Get your shoulder to neutral, and we're going to reach underneath our right armpit like there's something over there you're going to grab, and you're going to drag it across and open it up and release it. Reach it in and across. Open it up and release. You can make this movement just your shoulder and the rest of your arm being kind of like a robot, or you can flow this whole thing through wrist, elbow, flicking it open or rounding it in like you're going to pat yourself on the opposite shoulder. Whatever feels good. All right, last one. Relax, shake it out. Bend into your knees, release the chair like you're going to sit back. And I want you to flatten your spine and lift your upper back up. Squeeze through your glutes. Imagine that you have a block between your knees, and your knees want to come together, but you can't let them. Make sure the knees are back. Slowly push through the heels, squeeze the butt, and come up. Shake out. We're going to do the left leg now. Standing to the back of the chair with your right hip kind of hidden behind the chair. You need space for the left leg to go forward and back. Putting all of our weight on the right foot, a little hitch of the left hip so that you can swing without touching. Soft flex of the foot. Remember to have that butt muscle as a stopper so you don't go too far back and create a low back arch. My chair is not on level ground, so it is not helping my balance at all. Don't be like me. Have a good supporting chair. Bring it as high as you feel comfortable, but have that stopper in the back. And relax. Walk it out. Give the right leg a break. Shake it out. Turn a little to the side so you can swing. Have swing space to swing across in front. Standing on the right foot, a little tiny hitch of the left hip. Bring it across as far as you feel comfortable, or just to where your heel is over the big toe maybe, and opening into the outside. You're not going so wide to the outside that you're creating a funkiness in your hips and low back. Your right leg is doing a lot of work and support with all this movement happening. Soft grip with your fingers, lengthen through your spine, trying to keep your balance, and relax. Shake it out. Release it out. Release your chair off to the side and prepare yourself for the floor. We're going to go right to our back. We've worn everything out. If you want to practice your roll down, going to the floor is always a good opportunity to practice the roll down. Walking the feet in as close as possible, rounding your back like you're holding on into a cannonball, and then start rolling your hips back, low back. When your feet are ready to come off, that's perfectly fine. Helping to work those abs to create control. Roll your hips. Knees are drawn up. I want you to take a minute or two, and anywhere you feel tension and your body is telling you, I want to roll here, or I want to stretch over there, or it's called intuitive movement. So go ahead and go along with what your body's telling you it wants. Anything but sitting still. Could be in the hips, the feet, the shoulders, abs, the back. It could involve rolling on a side. It could involve rolling to a belly. Could involve stretching a piece out that got worked too much, like your butt may be a little achy from using it as a stopper when we were swinging our legs. We used our butt muscles a couple of times where they were just holding a position while we were doing something else with our legs, and your butt may be a little tired. All right, center yourself on your mat. Keep your left sole of your foot on the floor and bring your right ankle up and let it hang off of your left thigh. Open your right knee away from your torso, like you're in the seated figure 4 on the floor. As you push that knee away from your torso, you can actually use a hand, or you can get a block and press on that inner thigh. Just enough to feel a little inner thigh stretch, feel a little glute activation, but not so much you feel twinges of pain in the groin, or you feel the left side get out of balance to where the left side starts to hurt. Now start to walk the left foot in closer to the butt. I mean, you have to lift your leg a little bit. Walking those toes in and then pressing the heel into the floor, bringing that foot in as close as you can. Breathe. I want you to take the right knee across midline. You can grab the outer thigh with the left hand if you want to. We're going to stretch out the right side of the hip, glute. The right heel is still kind of hooked on the outside of the left thigh. If you want to stay with your back on the floor in this position and your hips on the floor, you can. If you want to take a twist and just let those legs continue on over to the left side, you can put them on a cushion on the floor, up against a chair, twisting as far as you want, trying to keep your right shoulder open. So my right shoulder does not touch the floor when I twist this far, but I'm keeping my arm out to help keep it open. Draw your belly in, protect the back. Two ways to get out of it. The easiest way is to just roll that right shoulder over to the left side, unhook the feet, stack the knees on top of each other, and then roll together back to the back, onto your back. All right, let's do the other side. So we're going to keep the right foot on the floor, take the left ankle, hang it off of the right thigh, and open up the left knee away from the torso as if you're pushing on the inner thigh. You can actually push if you want to, just don't torque the hips too much to where you are uncomfortable on the left side or feel any pain in the groin. Then lift your right heel off the floor and walk your toes in closer to your butt, and then press down into the heel. Giving our knee a little opening, a little more space. Keeping that left hip pushed away. Relax the left leg, start to draw it across midline a little bit. Right hand can come on the outside of the left thigh. So you just start to feel a little stretch in that outer glute and hip. This is where you can decide to stay here, or you can start to roll your hips right. Opening the left arm to try and keep open. Roll as far as you feel comfortable. You can always roll onto a rolled up blanket or towel so that you have support. I don't want you to roll, only to a 45-degree angle and then you're like shaking, trying to support yourself. Give yourself some support so that you can relax into the twist. Breathe. Twisting is very good for the digestive system. It gets things kind of unstuck and moving again. Kind of massages the digestive system. And start to close that left arm over to the right side, stacking your shoulders, unhinge your feet, stack your legs on top of each other, draw your belly in, and roll yourself onto your back again. Nice twist in the belly, realign everything. Keeping your left foot on the floor, I want you to take your right foot to the ceiling. A soft bend in your knee. We're not going to utilize a strap. If you want to utilize a strap, you're more than welcome to. A soft flex of the foot like you're kind of standing on the ceiling. Just balancing it. You can balance it on its own and use those muscles, or you can have a little support with your hands and hold on to your thigh. Try not to hold on to the knee joint itself. Just a little support. You can also press through the left foot and squeeze through the glutes a little bit and provide some stability in the foundation. And I want you to rotate the entire leg, toes out. And toes facing right over the belly. And then rotate, toes coming inward towards the groin slightly. And then toes right over the belly, everything relined up. Draw the toes back towards your belly, pressing through the heel of your foot without locking out your knee. And then point your tippy toe like you're a ballerina. And flex, over flex. So you're pressing through the heel and drawing the toes back. Point through the toes. Keep the foot pointed, bend the knee in. Draw it in as far as you can. Use your abs to really pull it in tight. Bending the knee and bringing the foot closer to the glute. And then use the abs to slowly lower that leg down until you feel the tip of your big toe touch the mat. And relax. Foot on the floor, left leg in the air. Balancing. Soft flex. Breathe. You can squeeze through your glutes and through your abs to help support, create a strong foundation. Rooting through the sole of the right foot can help create a strong foundation. So you're not relying on just the leg muscles to hold it up there. Whole leg rotate, toes out. Toes come back over belly. And then rotate interior slightly towards the groin. And then back up. Overflex the foot, pressing through the heel without locking out the knee. Point the toe, nice strong long leg. Feel the stretch in the top of that foot. Flex, overflex, press through the heel. Point the toe again. Stretch through the top of the foot. Bend the knee, draw it into your torso. Draw it in, draw it in, draw it in, draw it in. Feel your abs pushing through the right foot. Bend your knee a little bit more. Bring the foot into the butt. Slowly, very slowly. So you're using ab muscles. Lower down till you feel your toe touch. And then you can relax and let the whole sole of your foot. And prep yourself for Shavasana. I feel like I need to roll a little bit before I do that. So if you want to roll or flop or whatever you want to do as you prep for Shavasana, get all your creature comforts, your pillows, your blankets, your eye coverings, a sip of the coffee if that's necessary. It is for me. Find your supported Shavasana position. Survey your body once you've found a moment of stillness. Survey and make sure that you're ready for stillness. Make sure everything's supported. Make sure that you're not going to have any distractions from your body. If you have them from an animal, that's just the way it is. But that your body's not going to be distracting you. It's supported, it's comfortable. We should have reached stillness now. I want you to survey your body. How does it feel after that dynamic stretching workout versus a static stretching workout? Dynamic, as a reminder, is stretching through movement, where static is stretching through stillness. Sitting and holding for periods of time. We did a few static, but mostly dynamic today. The benefit of dynamic also is it kind of gets your heart rate up a little bit. It uses muscle groups a little differently. And I want you to survey your body and see how it feels. How do your muscles feel? Ligaments, joints, breathing. Do you feel like your heart rate got up a little bit today? Do you feel strong? I don't want you to feel defeated, but if you feel a little defeated, own it. It's all right. It means room for improvement. It doesn't mean giving up. Another quote that just came to mind, and I'll probably butcher it since I don't have it written down, but the idea of it is feel comfortable with being the new guy at something, whether it be learning how to fish. I don't know how to fish really. Or learning how to do yoga, or learning how to, I don't know, play a new game, a card game. Learning to be comfortable with being the new guy. Because if you're uncomfortable, you're not growing and changing. You're not learning. You're not expanding. And that's quote is a lot longer than it really is, but I don't know the exact words. But you get my drift, right? So today we definitely grew and expanded some yoga techniques. Mobility is as mobility does. It's not the other way around. It just doesn't happen. It's kind of like we don't just wake up and be smarter. We have to work at it and learn and read. We don't just wake up and have more mobility. It's actually quite the opposite. Feel whatever you feel, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, and own it. Let it be a part of you. Feel your heaviness on the mat. Feel the space that you take up on the mat, on the floor. Feel the physical space. Feel the density of your bones. Feel the weight of your muscles at rest, kind of hanging off the bones, flattening on the floor. Feel the movement in your torso as you breathe. The expanding and contracting of the lungs and the belly and the diaphragm. Feel every piece of physicalness that's you, your skin and the air as it maybe you have a fan going and it blows across. Maybe you feel your hair touching you on your cheek or the back of your neck. Feel your eyes behind your eyelids. Feel your tongue resting in your mouth. Feel your hands and feet at rest. Transitioning from your physical awareness, I want you to feel your mental awareness. Kind of like thinking about your heart is beating without you doing anything. That air is coming in and out of my lungs, and I am not making it happen. Your mental awareness of concepts and ideas, what you've learned through life, in a book, and what you've learned in life through experience, and even what you've learned in life from watching somebody else experience it and make the mistake. Or instead of a mistake, they triumph. How you navigate through a conversation, how you navigate or have navigated through a work relationship that was difficult, how you've navigated your ideals through nature and how nature and science balance or are imbalanced. How you feed your brain today versus how you fed your brain 20 years ago. Only we know our own thoughts. Only we know how those thoughts navigate us through to make decisions. And if you think about it, because we only know our own, we can't know someone else's when we judge. We can't know how they arrived at that decision. We can suppose. Even our spouse or best friend, there can be a whole nother side that we don't know. There can be a whole nother side in the act of forgiveness or lack of. So if you step forward in compassion, no matter the circumstances, it can help diminish judgment and unforgiveness. Take a nice deep breath, drawing your awareness into your body. Big breath, big, big, big breath. And then audibly just let it go. Exhale it out. Sigh it out. Yawn it out. Another big breath. Fill it up. Feel your body just release from that yawn or stretch. Or another big breath. And as you exhale, it brings some movement, whether it be rounding or moving your head side to side. Move your feet around. Another big breath. Fill up, fill up, fill up. And exhale into movement. Some sort of intuitive movement. Wherever your body's feeling it. One more big breath, filling it up. Exhale it out. Feel every part of your being. Keep your movement going, wiggling fingers, toes, bending, straightening knees, elbows, shoulders, hips, back, neck, individual fingers and toes. When you're ready, straighten out your legs, take your arms overhead, take a nice big stretch, and relax. Gently draw one knee at a time into your chest. You can roll or sit still. When you're ready, roll over onto your side, stack your shoulders, hips, knees. Support your head to keep your spine in alignment. For just one more second, contemplate the idea of mobility is as mobility does. Do you have any immobilities within your body that you want to do some work on, or need to do some work on, or both? Even the simple thing of lifting and lowering your legs, straightening your finger, if your finger aches or is immobile. It just takes a tiny bit. Gently peel yourself up off that mat, off that floor. Find a comfortable seat. Tall, erect spine, belly pulled in, root through the sit bones and lengthen through the crown. Keeping your abs, torso engaged. Nice, deep, long breaths. Feel like a strong, stable tree trunk or a warrior. Gently drop your right ear to the right side. Let your left arm slide off your lap. Tuck your chin and roll over to the left. Return the left hand to the lap and slide the right one off. Tuck and roll to the center. Return your right hand to the lap. Hold in center, lifting your head up to the ceiling, and then back down. Breathing with your arms. Inhale up. Lengthen. Exhale, arms come down. One more big breath. Inhale, arms coming up. Lengthen tall, hands come together overhead. Exhale down at your chest. Press through the palms, lengthen through the crown. Flutter the eyes open. And namaste.